We're back, Reni and Mace. I've swapped the singlet for a hoodie, mate. I've just come back from Kowanyama up in North Queensland. It's on the east side of the Cape. Beautiful little town. We'll talk about it in a minute, mate. So how was your weekend?
Just quickly, that hoodie. I reckon every second comment on every reel, every post on YouTube was
the Bulldog hoodie.
Where do you get that hoodie?
Yeah, mate.
We're going to maybe try and sell one.
So the person who gave it to me, Charlie, she they're not making them anymore. I think they only made 200 or something like that. And I thought,
should we auction yours off?
We should. Mate, it was a great hoodie. I love it. Like I feel a bit weird wearing a Bulldog hoodie around. I actually got another Bulldog hoodie. It's in the car. She gave me another one. And it's got the Bulldog emblem and it's got the Dogs of War on the back and it's got my 2004 forward pack on the back.
That's sick.
But I look like a toss if I'm wearing a jumper with myself on the back of it.
You look like Mug Larry with all the photos in the house of yourself.
But, mate, yeah, that hoodie went viral and so many people. So everyone that was asking it came from a company called Mitchell and Ness.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them a shout out for free. And I don't think they're making them anymore, but yeah, what a hoodie.
I'm sure they'll be doing more merch though.
Oh, hopefully. How was your weekend, mate?
Mate, we've got through at least 3 minutes so far without coughing, so I'm absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, I'm back.
But I coach my Bondi United under-9s.
Yep.
We're undefeated. We had our toughest test against Concord. Some of these kids were as big as me, and I'm actually big for a 9-year-old.
So I know you want to get into your non-competitive. That's another podcast.
That's a 6-hour podcast.
That's another conversation. But yeah, mate, let's get into it.
Mate, we've got breaking news. It's something that we don't usually want to talk about here, but this is a big one. Trell.
Yeah. Look, I got on, so I had to get a chartered flight from Kowanyama to Cairns and then from Cairns to Sydney yesterday. And I get a photo sent to me. And at first I was confused. I was just looking at it. It just looked like some blonde bird holding court telling a shit story or something like that. I'm thinking, until I zoomed in, I thought, okay. And then I had 3 hours on the flight and without reading any stories, but I knew what the accusation was in that photo. And I was pretty pissed off about it, to be fair. And it's so many sort of mixed emotions around that situation. Obviously, the allegation is the white powder. We know what the presumption is.
The presumption is.
And then I'm thinking, who's the prick taking photos?
That's
right?
my first thought.
You know, and I'm not condoning it, right?
I understand.
And Latrell, to put himself in a situation where obviously it's people he probably doesn't know or doesn't trust, and that's really gut-wrenching and it pisses me off a lot.
Yeah.
That away from Latrell right now, let's just talk about the players in general. I came in a different time, a different era, no social media, phones weren't a thing. When we came, in the back end of my career, it was no phones, no cameras, you know. Even in retirement, I don't hang around people outside of my circle. I don't trust people. I don't trust anyone. If someone wants to come for a coffee, who are they? Why do they want to come for a coffee? Do you trust them? Someone wants to go for dinner. Do you trust that person?
Yeah.
I don't want anyone in my inner circle. And this is where the players need to understand. This is where they need to be smarter. This is where they need to be better. And I'm not condoning the drugs. Do not let people into your circle. Yeah. Don't trust anyone. People are out to get you.
Not everyone's your friend.
No, they're not. They're out to get you. And I heard on 360 last night that Buzz said that they try to sell him that photo, right? So that's what they're trying to do out there. And it just...
shit.
It's just...
And you're not, like, and I'll reinstate it, you're not condoning the accusation of the white powder.
No.
It's about whatever you do, same as when Mad Monday rolls around.
Yep.
Whatever you get up to, do behind closed doors. And you don't need to film everything. Put phones away and enjoy the people that are around you.
It's gotten to a point now where whether you're going for a coffee, where you're going for a dinner, don't let people into your inner sanctum.
Yeah.
Don't trust anyone. I don't fucking trust anyone. People are out to get you, and that's the unfortunate, because there are genuine fans and genuine people that genuinely love you. But unfortunately, there's these grubs that want to take photos of you and put you in situations that may not look good in the public eye. So,
the thing I want to say is annoying, all right? So Latrell's been one of those players where he's been the villain. He's been, a lot of people, it's a love to hate. It's almost a little bit of that mundane-esque. It was only a few weeks ago where everyone's calling for Latrell to save us. Round 2.
Yeah.
Get him back. Now he's like back in that good light. He come back. He was doing good things for South. He kind of got them looking like they were half a semi's hope.
Yeah.
He's doing good things in community.
Yeah.
And then gets let down by the people around him.
Well, he's let himself down. He's let himself down by putting himself in that situation as well. Regardless if it's an allegation. We don't know what it was. He could have been leaning over to get earbuds so he didn't have to listen to that Blondberg talk shit. You know what I mean? We don't know. We honestly don't know.
We don't know.
So for me, like my initial thought right now is maybe Latrell, go back to Taree for the rest of the year. Go back and spend time in the country. Go and do what you love. Go and do what you love. Go and spend time with your family and really have a think about if rugby league's for you. If this public spotlight is for you, do you want this smoke? Because it's coming for you all the time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I want to reinforce, I'm not condoning drugs. I'm not condoning any kind of that behavior whatsoever. All I'm saying is be careful, boys, all players. Be careful about who you let into your inner sanctum, who you trust. Only trust your. It really drives me up the wall.
Yeah,
and off the back of where I've just come from. So
that's what I wanted to touch on. Like, obviously, Troll does a lot in the community. One thing I can say, I know you do a lot of, and you definitely don't get the praise for it. I don't think.
I don't want the praise.
I know you don't, but I know it's something you're passionate about. Tell us about it.
Yeah, mate. So I've just come back from Kanyama, right? It's a community up in far north Queensland. And look, I've got so much, I'm so passionate about Indigenous community.
Yeah.
Since I was 4 years old, I've hung around Kooris my whole life, from La Perouse to Redfern to Waterloo. They've been my teammates. I've always had a connection with Indigenous brothers, right? So to get the opportunity to work with the Arthur Beetson Foundation, a pioneer for Indigenous people in rugby league, to be invited away on a trip with Andrew Walker, Brenton Bowen, Sean Berrigan, Willie Tonga, Tyrone Roberts, Jimmy the Jet.
Yeah.
As a non-Indigenous person to go out in community, like there's something there, you know, and we spent 5 days out there. We went and spent time at the school. I actually did a 6-week program, online program with the school kids as well.
I remember when you were doing this.
And to get to rock up at the school and they're like, Reni, like these kids, to call your name out, it was special, and it makes you feel really,
makes you feel good,
like
inside.
You're doing. You know, it is rewarding. You know, we went and played footy with the kids. You know, we got welcome to country. We played a game out there. They had the rodeo on. You know,
you get on a cow?
Not a chance. One of the boys did. I could not believe he got on there.
Who got on?
Donald, one of the boys, Donald.
Yeah.
He got on there. Anyway, and then we went for a swim. Like, it was like, boys, who wants to go fishing? And I'm like, how big's the boat? And they said, dinghies. I said, nah, I'm not getting on those boats. Big salties up there. I'm not going in the water. So then we go down the creek and we're having a swim. And then one of the local lads, he goes, we'll just swim here. And I'm thinking, hang on, it's flowing right to left. Why are we swimming on the right side of the rocks? Shouldn't we swim on the left side of the rocks in case a croc comes? And he goes, oh, yeah, we'll swim on the left side of the rocks. So we're all in ankle deep water, just splashing water, just splashing water on ourselves. And made it, just to go up there, every kid comes up. Do you know Latrell? Do you know Steve Crichton? Do you know Nathan Cleary?
Yeah,
they just love they just love footy. And they puts the biggest smile on them. They don't know who we are. They know that we used to play. Who did you play for? Yeah. And then the elders, obviously, and Tyrone Roberts caught. I don't know nothing about fishing. He caught a barramundi. It was a meter. It was a dead set meter. And apparently, like, people fish their whole lives to try and catch a barramundi that big. And that was probably the nicest fish I ever ate. So to go out, do some stuff, and I want to give Ian Lacey, Nicole Lacey, Kia Bowen, the Beetson children, all those people that put this together, the people of Kanyama, a huge rap, because it means a lot to the community, but it means a lot to us ex-players as well.
Yeah.
Because we get to connect as well in retirement. And we miss that connection. So to have 5 days there and then to come back and see the news on Trell, it was gut-wrenching, but let's just move on from that. And
we can't just move on yet. I need to hear about this little scratch and your performance.
So Willie Tonga calls me out. So we played the game. Shout out to Hopevale too. Hopevale drove 9 hours to play against Kawanyama.
Yeah.
And then we mixed in the team. So, you know, there was about 15 former players there. We went into 2 teams and then we mixed in. And Willie Tonga started calling me out, run it straight. And I said, righto. So I've come off the back fence, tried to bump him off. He's jarred my elbow. So I thought, yeah, easy work, quick play of the ball. And then he's come and hit me in the ribs. So I thought, all right, your turn. You come run it at me now. And he puts his jink on in his 2004 step and puts a fend out. So I'm like clutching at straws trying to get him down. And then as I've tackled him, then I've gone over and hit my head on the – because the grass ain't great up there, right? It's pretty dry.
It's not luscious.
And took a bit of skin off the forehead, jarred my elbow, a few scratches.
How's the fitness levels?
Awful. Oh, no, dead set. I thought, shit, I need to get back in the gym or like train at a higher intensity. I thought I was going to have a heart attack on the field. Lucky there were paramedics there. I'm not kidding. It was 40 degrees and I was sucking in the big ones just thinking, far out, what's happened to you?
Yeah, so you're not putting your hand up for Perth Bears?
No, I wouldn't even run the water for any team. That's how unfit I am. But look, ABF, great trip. Thank you for having me once again. And all the kids up there. I can't wait for the next one. You know, I missed the one in Cooktown recently. Kawanyama, 2 years in a row.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well done.
Let's go into footy, mate.
Our freak of the week this week brought to you by
Numero Uno. What a coffee.
Great coffee.
My numero uno freak of the week is Toby Sexton. So this kid has just getting better and better each week.
Yeah.
Respectfully, he's not the most athletic half there is, but his game management is improving week in, week out. You know, he sets up 2 tries, his kicking game. He's really leading that team around and giving the strike players the opportunity they need.
Yeah.
With a general playing at 7. He reminds me a bit of a Chad Townsend, right? So Chad Townsend wasn't, respectfully, not the most athletic half there was in the game, and still isn't. He's still in the game. But he led the Sharks to a premiership.
He did.
Right? And it's just all about game management. It's playing to what's your strength?
Yeah.
My strength is getting my team around the field, putting in
stability,
putting in good kicks, passing when I need to.
Yeah.
And I said it a few weeks ago, he's developed another string to his bow by putting in the kick early.
Yeah.
Right? He's put it on the toe because generally he's not much of a running threat, but now he's got the pass, he's got the kick, he's got the defense in 2 minds. Yeah. So I think he was great, and he's my numero uno freak of the week. What about you, Mace? Who do you have?
My numero uno. Mine's a reverse freak of the week. It's more of a moment.
Okay.
It was
games are all about moments, mate.
It was there was a moment, and this was probably his moment to be freak of the week.
Yep.
And he shanked it. Clint Gutherson.
Gutho
had the moment to keep it there.
I tell you what, you got to change your nickname. You can't be King. I can't be calling you King ever. I'm sorry, Gutho. Congratulations on your. He's a jester. He's played 200, right? That was his 200th.
I think it was his 200th.
Yeah, congratulations to. He's been a great player for a long time.
He's been that solid, almost like what you said. Sexton's been in a half role. He's kind of been that in a fullback role. I think.
Mate, he's a competitor. Like you know what you're going to get from Gutho.
Yeah.
He turns up week in, week out, and he competes. And that's what you want from every one of your players is a competitor. Yeah. But that kick was fucking terrible. So you're not King Gutho this week, mate. And like, fuck, how disappointing to blow a 14-point lead. And that's just Penrith, man. They're just winners.
We'll finish on this game before we move on to your doggies again. But I want to know, was that, and Penrith have shown that they did in the grand final. They've shown that they just stay in the game enough for either them to dominate or for you to shit the bed.
They're winners. That's what they are. They're winners.
But that just, like what? Someone said to me, he goes, it's almost like every team that plays Penrith at the moment must watch the grand final, last year's grand final beforehand because they get into the they get in those championship rounds. Para were there, and it was like they were looking up at the clock going, how many tries can they score? And that was like you could see they're in that back of the mind.
You just said championship rounds. That's what they are. They get to the 11th and the 12th round, and they go to another level. Whereas other people, in like if we're talking boxing and using that as an analogy, they fold in the championship rounds. These guys go to another level.
Their style of foot, they're like a big boa constrictor. They go, you know what? We'll take you deep. Let's all we have to do is stay in the fight until the 70th minute, and then we'll kill you.
Till the 79th minute.
Yeah.
We aren't going away.
We're there until that bell goes.
100%. And that's what they did, you know. So look, Para, fuck man, like you don't want to blow a 14-point lead, but that's just the class of the Panthers, mate.
They tried to make a liar of you with a mindset because they were a team that mindset should have been in Bali.
No, I know. No,
I'm not. I totally agree with your point.
They're still in Bali.
Well, they are now.
Some
Gutho was.
Gutho was in Bali.
Gutho was booking that room. He's just like,
Gutho was on a podium at Sky Garden.
And
when he thought, fuck, I'm going to miss this kick.
Where am I eating that night? Where's that off? God.
How many illusions can I drink? Where's the magic mushies? I shouldn't even joke about that.
No.
But look, back to our dogs, right? So
your dogs.
It was the game of the round. Everyone was looking forward to it. And, you know, I posted a few things on the 2006 game and I went out to dinner with the, we call him the water boy, old Freddie Serraudo at the club. And he said that Cameron Serraudo was going to cut up a video and show him the 2006 game at Oakey Jubilee. So I don't know if he did or not, but, you know, that was a huge clash. And it looked like more of a Bulldogs home game, didn't it?
Yeah, they certainly know how to buy tickets and show up. That's one thing.
Well, look at the streets of Belmore. Like that's grand final, that's semi-final week, that's grand final. They're doing it in the regular season, you know, like, and that's unreal. That's good. That's how much it means to the community, right?
As a player, what does that do for you as a player when you see it?
It's awesome, mate. You just know you've got that support, you know, and you listen to that crowd and it just gives you an extra bit of confidence, you know, knowing that your fans are behind you, they're celebrating, you're putting smiles on people's faces. The kids, you know, there's kids that haven't seen Canterbury in a semi-final for a long time, and obviously the adults, you know, there was 2014, there was 12, and then obviously yours truly back in 04 in that era. You know, like the Bulldogs fans are the most passionate fans in the competition, and to see him turn out at Oakey was great. You know, I hope they're all behaving as well. I don't want it to be ruined by any sort of bad publicity. Go out, celebrate, you know, enjoy this because something special is happening again, and it's great to watch. And if I talk about the game now everyone knows how much I've been riding the Bulldogs and how happy I've been with them. Now it's time for me to critique their game.
Ooh.
Just to critique just some small moments, right? So I found over the last there was a discipline factor to the game which I was a little bit disappointed in. So they were giving away penalties on the fourth, late in sets, and later in the game it's going to zap your energy. Now there's one thing that I was a little bit critical of is defending errors, especially after you've got momentum. Kicks, the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's offloading in yardage and they're low percentage offloads.
Yes.
Right? So sometimes you just got to take your medicine kicks and just go, right, I'm going to tuck it under my wing because you're so big and so powerful. He tried to offload. They turned the ball over. St. George scored points. That's the ramifications of not being clinical, just being very clinical in those situations. No, I'm going to take my medicine. I'm going to hold on to the ball. We're going to get a kick away. Now, later in the game, he was running without, and he didn't even look like passing. And what that created was the word we'd like to use is chaos because he's so damaging. It takes 2 or 3 players to bring him down. So what I've noticed over the last 2 or 3 weeks is that we're not defending errors. and we're getting points scored against us off the back of those errors.
Yeah.
We need to clean that up. We need to be clinical because coming into the back end of this season, going into the semi-finals, they're the moments, they're the opportunities that we're giving the opposition to come back into the game. So that's just the only area I'm going to be critical in.
And you can't do that against the boa constrictor.
You can't do that against Penrith.
But my question to you is, you do have to create chaos. So you can't out Penrith.
You have to try and out Penrith.
You reckon?
Well, you have to. You've got to stay with them. So the beauty, this is what no one expected from Canterbury. Yeah. And this is, they shift the ball in yardage and they create
I love it.
Space on the edges, right? So now that means the defensive line have to scramble.
Yeah.
It's overworking. If you're trying to go through the middle of Penrith or Melbourne or Roosters, they'll outmuscle you and you're not really putting their defensive line under fatigue or creating that kind of chaos. They have to have the confidence to be able to still play that style of game, but need to rein it in when they need to rein it in, i.e. kicks. 3 weeks in a row, I've seen you offload a low percentage offload when it was never on.
Yeah.
Therefore, we've had to defend the error, and I've seen points come off the back of it. I think two out of three offloads I've seen in the last 3 weeks, they've scored points off the back of it. Just take your medicine kicks and just choose your moments a little bit better. I know I'm not telling you to just not push that pass because you create opportunity. But there's just moments where you go, hey, we need to just get through this set. Let's kick to a corner. Let's defend and let's force the error. So that's the only little bit of critique I have for the game, for Canterbury's game at the moment.
Just on their attack, everyone talks about Serraldo, but their attacking coach is Jason Taylor.
Yeah.
He's really lifted this team into an attacking machine as well.
Well, what I love is that they're building.
Yeah.
They haven't sort of stagnated. They're probably the only team in the competition right now that are getting better each week.
Mm.
Right? Like Cowboys, they should have won that game.
Yep.
But they're building. You look at Penrith leaking 32 points. Melbourne didn't play well against South. Roosters are up and down.
Yeah.
You could honestly say that Canterbury are the informed team at the moment.
Yeah. Definitely.
Fair comment?
Yeah, well, Storm have been less than, we'll touch on them in a bit. And Penrith obviously.
Sharks have just turned a corner, 44-0, whatever. But Canterbury.
Each week they're building. No, you're right. They've gone from being that. I think if you, the example, I love some of the Roosters, but I remember when Roosters won the comp, they were very big on their D and then their attack got better throughout the back end of the season. And they put two components of football, D and attack, and that's 100% right. Yeah. Bulldogs are starting to put all the pieces of the jigsaw together.
Yeah, I love that. And that's at the perfect time. At the perfect time.
I'll ask you, how important is timing in a season? Because it's almost impossible you can't peak a whole season.
No. And so 04 when we won it, we peaked at the right time. So there were games we were just winning, but they weren't pretty. Yeah. And then the last sort of 3 rounds, I want to say we went up to Brisbane and flogged the Bronx. We went over to New Zealand and flogged the Warriors, building. And then we went into the first semi against Cowboys and we got beat.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, holy shit.
Oh, fuck.
We've just finished second in the competition and we got beat in the first semi-final. And then it became a reality again. And then we kicked into gear and won 3 in a row and obviously won the grand final. But from round sort of 21, 22, 23, you want to keep building. Yeah. Whereas we're seeing kind of like Melbourne maybe becoming a little bit stale. Yeah. Penrith leaking 32 points is somewhat of a concern.
Definitely.
But, Sharks turning somewhat of a corner because Titans aren't any pushovers at the moment.
Well, they hadn't been until last game.
They just couldn't stop the bleeding, the Titans. When you can't turn that tap off, man, it's hard. It's a hard mindset to try and win back a ruck. Like Sharks were just running with so much intent, so much aggression, and obviously flogged the Titans. But
they can definitely be a team that can turn it on when they want to turn it on. There's definitely ability there. And young Atkinson, he's one kid. He's a kid of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like Sharks have hopefully turned a corner because they've copped a lot of criticism the last, couple of years that they've fallen off the wagon.
Yeah.
People might say, yeah, it was the Titans. But Titans have been, a tough team to beat, especially under Des.
They've been thinking about Barley. I think Barley could have been in the mindset.
Maybe. I don't think Des lets you think about anything other than rugby league. Yeah. He gives you nightmares, that guy.
Another little controversial moment happened in the Bulldogs game, biting, accusation of biting.
Wasn't so much an accusation. I'm pretty sure I saw his nose wobble. There was a bit of clarity.
Did he place it in?
All right.
It's a weird one. It is a weird one.
I'll break it down for you, right? So when wrestling came into the game, probably 2004, I remember Steve Kearney, who was my coach at Parramatta, and I don't think I had this conversation with him. He got me in a rear naked choke, and I could not breathe. And I thought, when I got up to play the ball, I was like, I'm going to fucking get you. Like, that was my mindset, is like, yeah, you want to play that game? I'm coming after you. And then as the games developed, then there was the chicken wing. Then there was the knee in the back of the calf. It's all created to make the person playing the ball uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You can argue till the bloody cows come home or whatever they say about wrestle, but it's just part of the game. Now, you get it in jiu-jitsu and everything. It's that you want to minimize space.
Yeah.
So when you get your body in and you're in that tackle, you bury your fucking forehead into their face to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Every player, every team in the competition is doing that. You bury your forehead into their face to make them uncomfortable. You act like, I didn't know, I'm just making a tackle, but you're trying to make them as uncomfortable as possible. Now, whether or not he put his nose in his mouth or not, you don't fucking close your mouth, right? He's bit him. I mean, it doesn't look good, right? If I'm Flanagan, I'm going after Critta. I'm like, mate, you wait till you get the ball next.
Yeah.
I'm burying my forehead straight into your snoz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, that's the mindset of the player.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying, Critta shouldn't have had his head there. Like, you watch every single game now.
The heads
you bury your head into their face to make them uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling have someone's head rubbing on your fucking head. But that's just the way it is, and that's part of the wrestle. I bet you now, after this, they'll start banning.
Yeah.
You won't be allowed to bury your face into an opposition player's face.
There's an old saying, control the head, control the body. I weigh a lot less than you, but if you're on the floor and I hold your head down, you cannot move your body.
100%,
and it's the easiest way to control in a wrestle. You're 100% right.
Look.
Just don't deep throat the nose.
Yeah. Maybe just keep the bottom teeth out. It was because he had his mouth shielded. And the worst part was you saw Critta's nose shake like a beat. I thought, oh no. And I loved what the Hello Sport folks, I think they called him Flammable Lecter.
Oh, they're funny boys, very funny boys.
Yeah, look, he's going to spend some time on the sideline.
Yeah.
He's going to spend some time on the sideline, old Flammable Lecter.
How long do you reckon you'll get? Has it been?
I don't know, man. I remember Brad Moran, my boy Brad Moran, he bit Tamana Tahu in a game in 2007, I think it was. Brad Moran's the uncle of Curtis Moran.
Yeah.
He's one of my best mates. And I think he bit, and I remember looking at him after the game thinking, why did you do that? I don't know. He just fucking bit Tamana on the arm.
I remember that.
And there was a big teeth marks, and he's got shit teeth anyway. You can see all the crooked teeth marks.
Not even a nice smile.
That wasn't that. He went straight. He got sponsored by Invisalign after that. Yeah, but not a good look in the game. And I like the fact. Look, Critta made the complaint. and now he doesn't want to like go in front of the judiciary. He's like, no, it's in your hands. You deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to make the complaint. No, you can't fucking bite. Like you can't bite someone.
Well, it was on TV. I think everyone watching the game saw it.
But having said that, like I really enjoy what Flanagan's doing for that Dragons side, and I think he's going to be missed.
Yeah,
and I know his dad. I had him at the Sharks. He's a great guy, and I don't think there was definitely no malice in it.
No,
but it was just maybe that split second reaction, like get your fucking forehead off my face, And he's gone straight for the snot box.
Just on the Dragons though, I think they put up a pretty gallant fight considering.
It was a good game.
Yeah,
great game to watch. And they had to be up for it.
Yeah.
And they're obviously fighting to stay within the 8 and Canterbury are trying to fight to get in the top 4. So it was, it lived up to the hype and it was a very enjoyable game to watch.
Talking about top 8, and I'm hoping they drop out because I did say they wouldn't stay in the 8. Dolphins have got their nose back in front.
Yeah.
With a field goal and we know the great man doesn't like field goals. Wayne Bennett.
Yeah, so I wonder if Wayne Bennett wants to get rid of Golden Point now after Sullivan kicks a 42-metre field goal in Golden Point. No, I like it now.
I like it.
No, keep Golden Point. Yeah, I didn't mind it. Yeah, like this because they're fighting to stay in the 8. They don't need 1 point; they need 2. But just off the back of that, there was another. And when I spoke about the Dogs earlier about defending errors, and it happened in that game too.
Yeah,
like. They were in the lead, and I just want to say one moment, Averillo pushed a pass, turned the ball over, invited the Warriors back into the game.
Yeah.
And then Warriors go down and score. That's how important it is to be clinical when you have momentum. The Dogs, when they have momentum, they push the pass, they turn the ball over, they score a try off the back of it. And that was another thing, and I just want to talk about momentum and being clinical when you're in front. Reed puts it like a nice little kick through. It goes dead. It's 7 tackle set. Dragons go down and score a try. They were the 2 tries off both of our errors. So to talk about Dolphins, to talk about Canterbury, it's about being clinical. You've got to be clinical at all times. And, the Warriors, obviously the majority of New Zealanders live in Queensland. So there was a massive Suncorp was just full of Kiwis.
It was.
And it was good fight back. And then to see that 42-metre field goal. Huge. Yeah, I'm sure Wayne was not
was he lefty or righty?
Left.
Yeah.
Great kick. 2 points.
What is it with lefties in the law? We've mentioned it before.
He was running across field and just boom, straight over. So I'm sure Uncle Wayne is pretty happy with the Golden Point rule.
He's loving it. He's loving it.
Mate, I've changed my mind. I think it's a great idea.
We need to talk about one other game quickly because it's going to lead into your Dogs once again, and it's a clash of 5 and 6, and it's a really important game for both. Sea Eagles 46-24 to the Raiders. Luke Brooks was pretty impressive in the game.
Yeah. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't see that one. We spoke about Manly probably having a bit too much strike for Canberra. And Canberra don't have a good record down at home. I didn't watch. It was Big Papa's 300, so congratulations, Papa.
Yeah.
Like to play 300 in the middle, man. Like that's a lot of contact. That's a lot of minutes in the middle of on the back of his Origin career and off the back of his Australian career, playing for Samoa. 300 games, man. I could not think of like playing 300 games, it's a lot of footy.
That level. And as you said, in the middle, like he has been, like he's obviously starting to show signs of his age now, but he's still rock solid.
Man, he'll go down as one of Canberra's greats. Like
he's a warhorse.
He is a Canberra great.
Yeah.
Like he's up there with the Ruben Wickies, with the Laurie Dailies, with the Glenn Lazarus, with the Ricky Stewarts. He's that Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Like that's how good Papa is. So, it would have been nice for him to get a win on his 300th. But
definitely deserved it.
Manly, bit too much class.
All right, so we're ripping into our CrossBet preview.
Let's go. Who have we got this week, mate?
Mate, we kick off with a big clash. Penrith Stadium.
Thursday night
footy. against the Storm. 1v2, $1.56 the Panthers, $2.43. Now, before you give me your opinion, the Storm have started to show signs of not being flashy. Penrith have maybe just been playing Penrith footy.
I think this will give us an indication of where Melbourne are.
Yeah.
It's a tough ask to go to Melbourne, to go to Penrith and play there against the reigning premiers, but this will give us a little bit more of an indication of exactly where Storm are.
Yeah.
I know Jerome Hughes did an interview last week and he wasn't happy with their performance. And we've seen that 2 weeks in a row where their performance have slumped against lower competition. Let's see how they turn up against the premiers in enemy territory. I'm thinking Penrith are going to be too good, but I'm more interested to see where Melbourne are at. Penrith to win.
Agree. We go to Four Pines where this team is absolutely dominated. Sea Eagles against the Warriors, $1.17 Sea Eagles.
Yeah. Look, Four Pines are a very hard place to play. The old Brookie. When we used to play at Brookie, right?
Good. I was about to say, what's it like?
It's awful because Des used to let the grass grow. No, seriously. So you go out there for warm-up and you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? My legs feel so heavy. He did that on purpose. He let the grass grow a little bit longer so the track was heavy. So that's why everyone struggled at Brookie.
So his greenkeeper...
He'd tell his greenkeeper to let the grass grow. And your legs would be gone. And you'd be looking at him and going, are your legs fucked? Are your legs? Mate, my legs are gone because he's let the grass grow. But, now Four Pines, different coach, obviously. Manly there.
Is there a rule to that? Surely, is there a regulation?
There'd have to be a regulation, but he was like...
He was on the cusp.
He was on the cusp of like having it too long. Fuck, it was awful. No, dead set. I'm like, this has been legit. Yeah. There's nothing worse than play. It was like playing on a cow paddock. It was like, this is rank. Just give him the 2 points. I want out of here. I need a masseuse on my quads right now.
And easy to, like, when you're kicking for grubbers, you can pull the ball up so easy.
It was such a hard place to play, and it still is. So I think Manly would be too strong. Manly to win.
Yeah. Friday night at the SFS, Allianz Stadium, we've got the Sydney Roosters off the bye, playing against the Eels who squandered.
Yeah, look,
what's his mindset?
This is another team. I need an indication of where they're at.
Yeah.
Like, did the week do them a world of good, especially with their origin players? They're another team that are just, they're not firing, like leaking far too many points. I don't know if Jared's back, but this is another game, regardless if Parramatta are down the bottom of the competition. I want to see how clinical, how ruthless this Roosters team is to see if they're a genuine threat in this competition, because that's another team that I've seen a bit of a slump in.
Well, I was at this game when they played at Eels home ground, and it was a game where Chooks looked they were going to really just put them to bed early, and they let them come back in the game.
Where they've been doing that the last few weeks.
And they have. Like, one thing that's been really exciting about the Chooks been their attack, and it's something in recent years they haven't had. But the defensive efforts in the recent weeks have not been up to scratch to win a comp.
Let's see where they're at.
Yeah. I mean,
but Roosters to win.
All right, your beloved Dogs going down to Bundaberg to play the Dolphins. Up.
Look, every game is so important now because we want to finish top 4.
Yeah.
Right? This is another big ask. Like, this is a big ask. Like, the Dolphins, they're a good side.
Yeah.
They're a good Wayne team, and they've got great leaders in their team in Bromwich. Both Bromwich brothers. Katoa's like the future of our game in the halves. Avarilo's been playing well. Herbie Farnworth, Jesus, like he'd be close to the best centre in the game. You got the hammer. You got the hammer, like the back rower. Let me anyway. This is another game where you're like, fuck, boys, need to turn up for this one. I have a feeling this could be our home game.
This is going to be the test, all right? So last week, it was Okie Jubilee.
Yeah.
And Belmore won the crowd battle. Can Belmore win the crowd battle? up there.
They'll travel to Bundaberg.
They will.
They will.
They will. That's a big burnout.
Pacific Highway will be just full of from Belmore to Bundaberg. It's just a trail of fucking bulldog cars. Just burnouts everywhere. There'll be just tyre marks the whole way up the Pacific Highway just from burnouts.
It's going to look like a Fast and the Furious, the original movie. Love that.
Another big test, huge test. I'm worried about this game because this is one that obviously Dolphins, man.
I've got to ask you a quick question on this because they haven't lost the game in like how many?
They haven't lost the home game.
They haven't lost the home game.
So if this is a home game,
yeah, counts.
They're going to win because they won't drop a home game. Big test. No, honestly, I need my Dogs to win. I need them in the top 4.
Yeah, because it's very hard to win outside that top 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is an important game for the Cowboys. They were obviously disappointing against the Bronx last week. $1.47. They're at home against the Raiders.
Man, this is so hard to pick this competition because you don't know what Raiders team's going to turn up. Another team fighting for the 8, right?
Yeah.
They're still mathematically in the chase. Cowboys, like you thought, you just think, they're going to click, they're going to be consistent, they're going to be in that top 4, they're going to buy up their sleeve, and then they drop another game. Like 2 teams fighting to stay relatively, either in the 8 or push for the top 4. Cowboys, the only reason I'm picking Cowboys is because it's up there.
Yeah. Then they've definitely got the class when they put it together. I think if you put both teams at their best, Cowboys win.
Yep, Cowboys.
Now, this probably could be the game of the round. Campbelltown Stadium. West Tigers against the Rabbits. $2.77.
There's going to be a lot of points scored in this. So if you got a cross bet app, just put as many anytime try scorers as possible in your bet.
They reckon that there's been a new sponsor for this game. It's Flight Centre to Bali because I reckon both teams are just sitting there. When you're looking at
far out. This is because historically these 2 clubs have had a bit of a rivalry. Tigers and South. Tigers have been pretty. I think they've had a bit of success against South.
Not their
in the past. In the past,
yeah. Not.
I'm talking about over the last sort of 5 years. I think this. Look, South riddled with injury.
Yes.
Tigers just riddled
with Tigers.
With Tigers. Look, shouldn't laugh. I'm going to go to the Tigers this one. Yeah, they can score points. They get the defence right. I think they can outpoint them.
I just think they need to get Benji out of the defensive coaching role and just let him do attack because right now
maybe he's doing both.
He must be doing both. He was a brilliant player to watch, but he wasn't he attacked good like me.
I was watching a game recently, and I looked up and they panned to the box, and there was a girl in the Tigers coaching box, and I thought,
who is she?
Who is she? Why is she part of the? Maybe she's a defensive coach.
I don't know, but I've been in about 7 group chats, and the mystical question is, who is the blonde girl that sits next to Benji?
Yeah. Oh, she's in there every week.
She's in there every week. And no one has given us an answer.
So,
I think we need to put this out to the fans. Who is the blonde girl? Who is it? It's like,
write it in the comments. And off the back of that, everyone who writes comments on YouTube and on Instagram, we appreciate the comments. It's we're there to we'll give feedback and we take on board. So if you know who the blonde bird is, let us know.
We move on.
Any more games?
Yeah, there's two more crackers. We move on to St. George at Wollongong. $1.51 against the Titans, $2.58. This is a team that really needs the beds back. I don't reckon Des would have blown up much this week.
Nah, I reckon they would have done 0 training. He probably gave him 4 days off. 0 contact. Yeah. Look,
does he pull out lashings? I reckon that's it.
He pulls out the ruler across the knuckles.
I could see that.
Seriously. Yeah, I think he was a school teacher as well. But Dragons, the down at home. That's the only reason that they're at home. I'm going to go Dragons.
I reckon if I was in that Titans team, I just would have just jumped the fence and got the bus home straight up. I wouldn't have even wanted to be in that locker room listening to Desi.
I think Des walked out at half time. walked out. He sprayed and then walked out the sheds, out of the dressing room and back to the coach's box. So they'll turn up. They will turn up. But I'll go Dragons.
Yeah. We close off at PointsBet Shark Park Stadium. $1.37 the Sharks against the Knights, $3.
Sharks, off the back of a 44-0 whopping. They want to build momentum. They want to stay on in that 4 too, because they know the Dogs are coming for that 4th spot.
They do.
So I think the Sharks will be too strong at home.
It's going to be interesting to see if they've been a team that's been up, down. Like, they've lost against a lot of the bottom teams in like the last 8 weeks. It's going to be interesting to see them put 2 of those performances together, because I don't think they've done that since the start of the season. Another
team where we're about to get an indication of where they're at. Yeah. Can they back it up?
Yeah. Just quickly, have you watched much of the WNRL?
I haven't seen a lot. I saw that the Brisbane centre score 3 tries.
Yeah,
a beast. It's good to see that the All Black girls have come over as well.
Yeah,
from the Sevens, the Ferns.
Yeah, the Ferns.
Sorry, the Ferns. Sorry, not the All Black girls. I will start watching a bit more.
I think you'll start watching next year when the Dogs actually have a team.
They got a team.
They got a team. Yeah. Blakey Cavallaro, mate of mine from school's the head coach, and he's out there recruiting now.
Go the girls. Why aren't they playing before the men's? I don't like. They should be playing. But for anyone that knows, correct me, fact check me on this. I want to see the girls play before the men's.
Well, that's why I haven't really watched many games. Where before, it was always on before the games, like last year. I think it's happened. I think there's been a couple and I've seen bits and pieces. But last year it was before, so it was easy. You watch the footy. Oh, the girls are on first. You
100%.
Have something to watch. I want to go back even further, and apparently there's reasons for this. I remember being a kid, and you'd want to go watch the footy. I'd go the old SFS.
Yep.
I'd get there 3 hours early because I'd watch Jersey Flag, reserve grade, and NRL.
Yeah.
Why can't we incorporate some of that again and get the families back out there?
Because the greenkeepers want to get paid more money, and we can't afford it as a game.
It's because Desi left the grass too long. That's why.
No, I don't know. Look, I'm an advocate for it, and there's got to be reasons. I was even disappointed that the girls didn't even play the curtain raisers for the men's origin.
Yeah,
they did pull big numbers and good crowds, and fantastic. I want to see the girls before the men's.
Yeah,
I want to see them as many curtain raisers to a game as possible.
Well, look. The thing is, and I could be completely wrong, but from the games that I have seen, the crowds haven't been that great.
There was one game at CommBank, and it was the optics were awful.
Yeah.
So play the girls before the men's.
Yeah, go back.
We're trying to build that game. My
agree.
niece is coming through. I want to see her play in front of crowds. So, there's got to be a reason for it. Maybe they're trying to get them to stand on their own 2 feet, but. Give them prime time. Give them before.
I agree.
Give them that Thursday night or the Friday night slot before the men's, because people will tune in.
And it's an extra thing to bet on just before the footy. Great multis.
Very good.
All right. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.